I opened up roads in the county, the entire county, but really opened up because I borrowed a leaf from His Excellency President Mwai Kibaki.
Yes.
He said, if you want any economy to improve,
Yes.
you must open up roads.
Infrastructure.
So I opened up roads in the entire county. Yes, I convinced, I talked to the national government, we came up with the MTC. We came up with the university, Kaimosi University.
Yes.
It is there,
Yes.
people can see those things.
Yes.
On the side of the youth, they came up with the Vihiga United Football Club, which is still there. We also came up with the Vihiga Queens football soccer for the ladies.
The ladies, yeah.
And the Queens have actually been the champions for Kenyan League
Yes.
3 consecutive years.
Wow. So you basically have been able to tap onto those talents and bring it out.
Yes.
Bring it out for the young people
So
to.
I saw one of the guards is now going abroad to play soccer there.
She's now been headhunted by clubs outside, overseas,
Yes,
European
foreign
clubs.
Yeah.
Wow. Excellent.
And with the football, there is a young man, Ocheng. Now he has been recruited by not Wazito Football Club.
Yes.
But he plays for the national team.
Yes. And it's from Vihiga.
He's from Vihiga.
Excellent.
Yes.
What were your challenges? What you would say is effectively the challenges in the relationship between the central government and the county governments? Because there were many issues. For example, even the use of the terminology His Excellency for a governor itself was pretty much contested, to the extent whereby there was a piece of legislation on that, which said that governors should not use that title. And then there was the issue of the allocations, and then the issue of funds from the center to the periphery, the issue of the delays in allocations, and the manner in which the allocations themselves were determined. So what are the kind of challenges that you can talk about now that, in hindsight, you've been there for 5 years, you are out of it for about 2 years now, running into the 3rd year, the kind of things you think need to be reformed for the better one way or the other in any new dispensation, if there's going to be any referendum? What are the areas? In addition to, of course, the bigger allocation that everybody's talking about. Instead of 15% being the limit, the capping, we can go up to 45%. That's very, very universal in the country. Outside that, what are the areas that you think should be addressed?
First thing, as the pioneer governors, we didn't have structures. Yes, so we were forced to form the government, to come up with the structures, which wasn't easy. And remember, the Transition Authority Act forced the county governments to absorb the employees of the defunct local government.
Defunct, yeah.
Yes, defunct local government.
Yes.
And
which was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yes.
And they were used to a certain system of doing the things.
Yes.
Which was completely different from
this new dispensation, basically.
The new dispensation.
In the manner you wanted to, state-of-the-art, very digital society.
Yeah, and especially somebody like me who had worked as a minister for public service.
Yes.
I knew how the central government works and how the central government wants things to work according to the PFM Act. So it was
Public Finance Management Act.
Finance Management Act. So it was a big challenge, but nevertheless, we did it. We came up with the structures.
You managed to recruit from outside the brains that you needed, the skills that you needed,
Yes.
at the same time retain the old stuff,
Yes.
and now blotted your own, what do you call, wage bill.
Yes.
You had very little money left for development.
And at that time, I remember the only funds which we were receiving, there was there was no time it went beyond 4 billion shillings.
Yes.
In Vihiga County.
Yes.
And most of these funds were going to payments of salaries.
Salaries, yes. The wage bill, yeah.
Wage bills.
Yeah.
You find we had very little amount left for
Development, yes.
and yet the expectations of the public was high.
Very high.
Very, very, very high. We are a government. We want to see everything going up. We want to see maendeleo.
So what is your suggestion for the future,
So-
for this particular, because
So-
we are likely to have a
and-
referendum. What are the kind of amendments you want to have in
you
the
see-
constitution, in the piece of legislation, whatever, to try and fine-tune that, yes.
Yes, let me tell you. If the Senate knows that the function is to defend the
Counties.
involved
Yes.
government.
Yes.
If they take that seriously,
Yes.
then devolution will succeed in this
Yes.
country.
Yes.
But you remember, my brother, that at the time when even Senate were fighting governors.
Absolutely.
We are not supposed to be fighting.
We're supposed to be working together.
We are supposed to be working together. Senate should not just wait until they summon the governor to go to Senate for them to answer the governor.
Yes.
What are you doing there?
Yes.
I'll tell the Senate, what else are you doing in Nairobi? You are supposed to be going around the counties and give support to these governors for the well-being of Kenyan people. So those are some of the challenges which I want to say for devolution to succeed in this country.
Yes.
Let Senate
Work with the county government.
work with the county.
Not against.
Not against
Yes,
it.
yes.
You see?
Yes.
Not against it. That would be okay.
Yes.
Again, with the BBI, I've seen they have recommended that the allocation will go up,
The upper limit.
upper limit.
Yes.
And that's one thing which makes me actually support
Yes.
the BBI.
BBI, yes.
Because unless we push funds from the national government,
Center to the periphery.
yes,
Yes.
they will not succeed. And there is no way we are going to improve on the economy of this nation. So if BBI, and I want to argue many Kenyans, let us support BBI. There could be other things there,
Yes.
but the resources
To the people.
to the people
It's very important.
is important.
Yeah.
Power goes with the money.
Yes.
You cannot have power without money.
Yes.
So let's support this BPI because of that resources which wants to be taken to the counties.
And you think in the end, you see, this is in 2013, I ran for the Speaker of the Senate myself. And if anybody remembers the speech that I gave was that the reason why I felt I would have done a very good job in that particular docket is because I told them I want the Senate and the county, the devolved units, to work together as a team. And I mentioned this many times to senators. And first, to claw back a lot of powers that the Senate does not have. You really can't blame them because they're doing nothing. They have no powers. All the powers are concentrated on the National Assembly. So the Senate is not a proper upper house. Is basically a house that has very little meaning.
In fact, I call it lower house.
Yes, in real terms. Now you claw back that, then you create a very powerful synergy between the county governments and the Senate, in which they work together as a team, not against one another. And that also was lost out because on the COE, the Committee of Experts, recommendations for the new Constitution 2010, was to make that the proper upper house. It was mutilated in Naivasha. Unfortunately, most of those people who mutilated it ended up also becoming senators to regret what they did. And then because when they were not having any relevance with the central government, they decided to load over now the county governments. Because you have that limited authority over the county government. And that's why you see the situation that's there. Now, as long as the House and the periphery entities are fighting one another, the people lose out and devolution loses out in the process.
It's true.
So there's a need, in my opinion, and I told them that time, it's my desire that we have a referendum in less than a year. collect sufficient signatures and force, one, the upper limit to be taken up, and the fact that the upper house to be the proper upper house, in line with other jurisdictions like the American jurisdictions have to have original jurisdiction for laws, and at the same time to be the proper serious upper house. Anyway, that I think now is very clear. And I hope in this time when Lusaka is there, who's a former governor himself, and who understands the strains and the fissures between the two entities, will be in a position now to try and promote that harmony for the broader benefit of the country itself.
Yes.